Okay, so I'm getting ready here to do an oil change on the Gallardo. As I said in a previous video, we're in the middle of doing the test pipes install, so the entire engine bay is completely, torn apart. And so I'm going to do the oil change while all that stuff is out, so I can easily get to the filter in there. So just in case you're wondering why it's all torn apart, that's why. If you want to see how I took all this apart, check out the other video where I installed the test pipes. But here we are, I'm on lamboweb.com, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to go through his article here. He explains how he changes the oil on his Gallardo. So far it looks pretty straightforward. I've already drained the oil out of mine in the previous video because we also changed the crank seal that was leaking. So the car has no oil in it right now. So it looks like all I have to do is take the filter out, replace the filter with the one I got, and fill it with oil. So I'm going to continue reading this article here, and I'll let you know how we make out. To Lamboweb's write-up, all I have to do now is get that oil filter out, which is in there. You can barely see it, but it's that black thing with the yellow dot on it. It basically sits in the center of the V of, the V10 engine, in the valley, I guess you could say. Obviously it's a V10, 5 cylinders over there, 5 cylinders over there, and the filter sits in the center. So I've got my special Gallardo oil filter removal tool here, which I talked about in another video. So I'm going to use this to get in there hopefully and get that filter out without having to take these throttle bodies off. Alright, so I got the wrench on the filter down there, got some rags around the filter to catch any oil that drips down. And finally, I think it was on there pretty tight, but I was finally able to crack it loose with the wrench. So now I'm going to spin the filter out and I'll show you what it looks like once it's finally out. Their cartridge, if you will, came out. The filter actually goes inside of this. It's supposed to stay stuck in there, but it obviously did not. The filter is still in there. You can see it's kind of sitting, where it goes in the motor. I'm going to reach in and grab it out here. Hopefully not get oil everywhere. So there is removed. We had a little bit of oil spilling out, but nothing too major. You can see that's where it screws into. A little bit of oil right there on the engine. Trying to get most of it up, or trying to get all of it up actually, with paper towels or shop towels. So let's go take a look at the old filter and compare it to the new filter and see how it see if we can get the new filter to snap into the cartridge where it belongs. Okay, so there's the old filter and the new filter. We talked about this in another video. It's a Lamborghini part. Apparently you can't buy an equivalent generic brand anywhere for the 0405 Gallardos. For the newer ones you can. But anyways, this filter, I know people like to hear about price. The filter is around $65 from bullstuff.com, and here's the cartridge that we need to snap it into, and we've got a new O-ring here that's going to go on here. You can see we've got the old one right there on the threads. We're going to pry that off and put the new O-ring on the cartridge and pop the filter in. We got the new rubber O-ring snapped in place, old one right there, and the new filter snapped into place. Basically you just push it in, give it a quarter turn to the right, and it just kind of holds itself into the cartridge so that you can, put it in as one unit. And there's the old filter. So let's go put this in the car. Filter back in, and as I was turning that thing on and tightening it, I was like, how far do I have to keep going before, it's tight? And it just seemed to go on forever. And I didn't want to keep spinning it. Ended up stripping the threads or something. And then I remembered I saw this yellow dot that someone had put on here on the filter case. And it was facing this way when I loosened it the first time. So I guess that means that we're tight now. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it alone. Feels pretty tight. So filter is done. The next thing I'm going to do is fill this thing back up with oil. I'm supposed to fill it up with 6 quarts of oil first, apparently, then start the car, and then fill it up with another 4 quarts after that, apparently. Obviously I can't start the car because I don't have it back together, and we're still in the garage with the door shut for the winter. So I'm going to fill it up with the 6 quarts now, and then I just have to remember later, hopefully I remember, to put the remaining 4 quarts in after I start the car for the first time, which will hopefully be this coming weekend. So let's go get some oil. So I'm sitting here ready to throw this old oil filter away, and this nice little box the new oil filter came in, and I got to thinking, why don't I do what Rob Dom did one of his videos and give away a piece of the car, which is otherwise useless to me. So if you want this old oil filter from my car, I know it sounds kind of funny, but if I know someone out there will want it. If you want this filter, I'll put it in this box right here and ship it to you. Just leave your message in the comments, or leave your comment in the comment box below, and the first person that says, hey, I want it, and then send me your address via the YouTube private message system. First person to do that within the US, I will ship this to you free of charge. And yeah, if you want a used oil filter from my Gallardo, that is, go ahead and let me know. Just don't post your address in the comments where everyone can see it. Make sure that you send your address to me via private message. I don't want anyone you know, seeing your address. That would be bad. Okay, so we've got some oil here. Showed you this in another video. Castrol Edge 5W40, full synthetic. And I've got about 6, 12, 18 quarts of it. More than enough to do an oil change, and some left over. And I've got a funnel right there in the oil container. So I'm going to start putting six quarts of oil in the car. And again, I got to remember to put 4 more when we are, you know, before we actually run the car. So that's pretty much it for the oil change. Like I said in the previous video, I've already drained the oil from when we did the crank seal, so that step is not in this video. But all we had to do is just remove that filter, put the new one in, and then fill the car up with 6 quarts of oil. It's filled up with 6 quarts now. You know, I just filled it up right here, and that thing's hard to get off with one hand, so I'm not going to try. But this is also how you check the oil. There's a dipstick in there. But anyways, when I actually start the car for the first time for the season next week, I will let it run and then fill it up with the remaining 4 quarts. So that's a Lamborghini Gallardo oil change video. Again, obviously wasn't from start to finish, but you know, basically picked up where we left off in the last video. So thanks a lot for watching this video. Press like if you like this video. Of course, subscribe if you like these kind of videos. I'm always making videos like this for you as I work on this car and do different things to it. So I'll see you in the next video.